Okay, let's dive into this explainer. Welcome everyone. Today we're taking a super fascinating journey right into the architecture of modern AI workflows. We're going to start by fixing the foundational mistakes that are literally silently draining your resources, something called context rot. And by the end, we'll be looking at how to build highly advanced, multi-tool autonomous systems. If you've ever felt like your AI agent starts out brilliant, but gets kind of lazy and confused the longer you talk to it, well, you are in exactly the right place.
98.5%. That is the invisible enemy lurking in your AI workspace. One developer ran a test on a session with over 100 messages and discovered something wild. 98.5% of all the tokens they were built for were spent just rereading the old chat history in that single session. It's just a massive hidden waste of both efficiency and money.
To understand why, we have to look at how an AI's memory actually works. Think of a token as roughly a word. Every single time you hit send, the model isn't just reading your new prompt. No, it is rereading the entire conversation from the very beginning. So your very first message might cost, say, 500 tokens. But by message 30, that exact same length of text is now costing you 15,000 tokens because it's dragging all that history right along with it. It's a compounding token trap.
Which brings us to level 1, the token trap. We need to talk about a really critical concept here: context rot, or what some developers playfully but accurately call AI dementia. As you bloat the context window with huge files, long chat histories, and heavy tool definitions, the model's attention gets spread dangerously thin. It gets distracted. It starts to forget earlier instructions, gives vague answers, and even hallucinates or contradicts itself. You are quite literally paying more for a noticeably worse output. Crazy, right?
And this compounding cost spirals completely out of control really fast. It is not a linear climb. Without proper hygiene, you can burn through a massive chunk of your token limit just by having a long, meandering conversation with your AI. We also need to bust what we can call the 1 million myth. Just because an AI offers a massive 1 million token context window doesn't mean you should actually fill it. The data shows that retrieval accuracy is incredibly high at around 256,000 tokens, hitting about 92%. But if you stretch that out to a full million tokens, accuracy drops to 78%. More context absolutely does not mean a smarter AI. It really just gives the AI more room to get lost.
So how do we fix this? Level 2, context hygiene.
Here are 4 essential habits you'll want to adopt right now. First, use a clear command between unrelated tasks. Don't carry baggage from task A into task B. Second, disconnect unused MCP servers. Just having one connected can invisibly eat up 18,000 tokens per message just by loading its tool definitions in the background. Third, batch your multi-step prompts into a single message instead of sending 3 separate ones. And fourth, always start complex tasks in a planning mode so the AI maps out the architecture before writing a single line of bad code.
The really crucial point is how you manage that window as it fills up. Most systems have an auto-compaction feature that triggers when the window is 95% full. Think of this like frantically packing your suitcase 5 minutes before your flight leaves. You are definitely going to forget important things. Instead, manually compact your session with a summary handoff at around 60% capacity. You lock in the key decisions while the AI is still highly intelligent, clear the history, and then feed that lean summary back in.
You also need a bit of a mindset shift for your system instructions, like a claude.md file. This file loads into every single message you send, so you've got to keep it lean, ideally under 200 lines. Treat it as an index route that simply points the AI to other files rather than a bloated encyclopedia that holds all your data. This is going to save you massive token overhead on every single turn of the conversation.
This context hygiene also applies to how we handle documents. Text-based tokenizers absolutely hate formatting metadata. If you upload bulky PDFs or heavy HTML files, you're paying for a lot of layout noise. By converting those files to raw markdown first, you can reduce token usage by up to 70%. You can literally fit 3 times more content into the same context window just by stripping out the visual formatting.
Moving right along to level 3, upgrading your toolkit. We talked earlier about the heavy token tax of standard MCP server integrations. Well, compare that to command line interfaces, like the new open-source Google Workspace CLI. This allows your AI to interact with your Google environment via direct terminal bash commands. It's JSON first, incredibly fast, and carries a fraction of the invisible token overhead compared to those heavy API configurations. Out of the box, this gives your AI some seriously incredible skills. Instead of outputting a messy, raw markdown block for a document, the AI can actively search your Google Drive, create a beautifully formatted Google Doc from a template, say an automated YouTube resource guide with headers and links. It can read spreadsheet data and even find free time in your calendar, all completely autonomously.
And now, a quick intermission. The Claude Play.
Did you know there's a playful hidden side inside Claude Code? If you type /buddy in the terminal, it actually hatches a zero-token cost virtual pet. It was an April Fool's feature, giving you a Tamagotchi-style companion, maybe a chaotic turtle or a rare dragon. But the funniest part, its stats for things like chaos or snark are tied deterministically to your specific user ID and coding habits. It's totally free, doesn't use context, and just sits in your terminal judging your code. Pretty fun.
All right, back to business. Level 4. Advanced Agent Workflows. Take a look at this automated proposal generation flow built with NNN. Step 1. A webhook grabs a completed meeting transcript from Fireflies and logs it. Step 2. A Slack message pings a human for approval. Step 3. A specialized AI agent reads the transcript and drafts a high-converting business proposal. And Step 4. It shoots a structured JSON request to the Gamma API, which instantly generates a beautifully formatted, branded slide deck.
But there is a vital caveat to remember with these powerful workflows. As this quote perfectly notes, the goal isn't necessarily 100% automation. These tools tee up the work. You get 90% of the way there in seconds, you review the deck, make your human tweaks, and then send it. It's about massive leverage, not necessarily replacing that final human polish.
We can actually take this even further with voice agents. Check out the loop of an 11 Labs voice agent that you can embed directly onto a website. A visitor clicks the widget, the agent listens via the user's microphone, the LLM on the back end transcribes the text, reads its knowledge base or queries tools, and then speaks the response back instantly. And remarkably, you can build this entire architecture using just natural language right inside Claude Code.
There are 4 main pillars to making this work. First, the persona, which is your system prompt setting the behavior. Second, the voice itself, which can even be a custom clone of your own voice. Third, the knowledge base, like feeding it hundreds of YouTube transcripts. And fourth, the tools it can call. And the best part? Instead of clicking through dashboards manually, an AI coding assistant can configure all 4 of these pillars automatically for you over an API.
Here's a great example of how those tools interact in reality. You can wire the voice agent to act as a 24/7 booking assistant using the cal.com API. The voice agent verbally asks the caller for their name and email, spells it back to confirm, queries the API for open calendar slots, translates those slots into the caller's local time zone, and then physically books the meeting on your calendar without you ever lifting a finger. However, with great power comes great responsibility, right? If you embed a live voice agent on a public website, you are eating the cost of every single conversation. Security has to come first here. You must lock down the widget to your specific host domain so the code can't be stolen. And you absolutely must set maximum call duration ceilings to protect your API credits from just being completely drained overnight. Which leaves us with one final thought. As we've seen today, mastering AI isn't just about having the smartest model. It's really about how you manage the environment it operates in. So, I challenge you to look at your current setups. Are you managing your context, or is your context managing you? Take control of your tokens today, clean up those workflows, and start building these incredible, highly leveraged systems. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy building.